What happened in India-Taliban talks? Why it was important? So in historic move, Indian delegation traveled to Afghanistan to open diplomatic channel with Taliban, which was first time in history. During the Taliban regime, Indian delegation traveled to Afghanistan and maintained a channel with Taliban. Since 1996, when 1996 the Taliban took over the reins, between 1996 and 2001, they controlled Afghanistan. India doesn't made a diplomatic ties or diplomatic visit or didn't have negotiation with the Taliban, but in recent geopolitical situation have pushed the India to talk to the Taliban, especially in after the chaotic withdrawal of the US troops and capture of Kabul by Taliban in 2021. In a first time in history, Indian delegation, the Vijay Metal, the ambassador of Qatar ambassador of India to Qatar, met the Taliban delegation. They doesn't want to maintain diplomatic ties with Taliban, but for the sake to secure the Indian nationals in Afghanistan. So this happened in 2021, but now India delegation went to Afghanistan not for the diplomatic recognition of Taliban, but for the humanitarian assistance to the people. Only for the humanitarian assistance to the people, not exactly for the diplomatic relations or bilateral ties with the Taliban. So now Indian delegation went to overview our investments and the progress of our projects and the humanitarian assistance to the people. And the Indian delegation met with the Taliban's acting Prime Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi, and the Amir Khan Muttaqi stated that India delegation came to here and discussed about the bilateral ties, but and diplomatic recognition. But Indian delegation not included the diplomatic recognition of Taliban and said they are far from recognizing Taliban because Taliban are involved in especially in a very human rights violation, and also the human rights are barred, especially the secondary women were barred from the secondary elementary education, and also they are instructed to cover all over the body using burqa. So various restrictions were imposed by the Taliban, and India is far from recognizing Taliban. But according to our foreign policy or in existing geopolitical world, India should recognize Taliban because due to the China's threat. So China's regional play in Sri Lanka or Nepal or in Bhutan, China want to have a dominant role, and including Afghanistan. So to counter China's influence in Afghanistan, so India want to engage and have good diplomatic relations with Afghanistan. So with Taliban, and also if in recent days now the Pakistan terrorists were given training by the Taliban and they will return to Kashmir, which is a major threat for India. Terrorism is a major threat for India. So to cut those acts, so India should maintain good diplomatic ties, and we have invested around 3 billion American dollars because Afghanistan is a strategic important region for us in geopolitics in the region. So to secure and to maintain and the investments and progress in our project, so we want to maintain proximal ties with Taliban. But Taliban are involved, especially they are terrorist organization and involved in various human rights claim. That's all should be taken. But according to diplomacy and foreign policy and existing challenges, this is the major move. India should recognize Taliban. And also, if you see the European countries, so European countries are focusing only on the Russia-Ukraine issue. The rise of Taliban, due to in the course of rise of Taliban, America played a huge role, but America failed in the mission and they withdraw from the Afghanistan. So the Western powers like US is responsible for the Afghanistan today's situation because they played some naughty game in the Afghanistan, and today the Western powers are more focusing on Ukraine-Russia issue. Yes, it's a serious conflict, but they didn't talk much about the Afghanistan's today's situation. That's what the external minister Jaishankar hinted in a forum, that the Europe should came out of the mindset that the Europe problems are world problems, but not the world problems are Europe problems. This exactly match with the Afghanistan situation, because European powers in 2 decades, European powers maintained foothold in the Afghanistan, and they are also responsible for the Taliban's rise, and the chaotic withdrawal of the US troops, also responsible for the today's situation in Afghanistan and the Detroiting human rights violation. But they didn't talk much about the Afghanistan today situation. That's the geopolitical game, and this is the exact situation all over the world. So if India want to maintain strong regional player, they should maintain and open diplomatic ties with Taliban. Thank you.